Ardbeg 10 Cask Strength. This is a release that enthusiasts have been drooling over ever since it came out, and I finally have a bottle to myself, so I will be reviewing it. Stick around. What's up guys, it's Jeff, and today we're going to be looking at the Ardbeg 10 Cask Strength. And first off, I want to say that it's been a really long time since I've seen the community get this excited about a new release. It has caused quite a stir. Also, it's been quite a while since I did a review on a single bottle, which is very exciting. For me. Nowadays, it's all lists like top 10s, top 7s, or whatever because I want to maximize clicks and I have no integrity. But considering that this stuff is so popular, I saw the opportunity to earn a quick, easy buck, and I pounced. Anyway, this is the 2026 committee release. Our casks are ex-bourbon American oak, and it feels like a whiskey that's been a very long time in the making. In fact, I'm shocked they didn't do it sooner. I mean, they even say it on the bottle. On the back of the label, it says, "Finally bottled at your impassioned request." Now, this is actually the second time they've done a 10-year-old cask strength, but I doubt many of you got the chance to try the first one because it was a one-off Japanese bottling from like 2003. So this does feel special. And speaking personally, I just kind of feel better about Ardbeg these days. There was a long stretch where I felt like the core range in particular, along with a lot of the special releases, really, I mean, it wavered in quality, and I often found myself kind of unimpressed with what they were putting out. But you might have noticed on the channel over the last, I don't know, 2 years or so, maybe 3, I feel like they're kind of finding their footing again, like they're getting back on track. Especially when we're talking about like the committee stuff and a lot of their special releases. So many gimmicks that were overpriced, kind of underwhelming. So this one, yeah, I mean, 10-year-old cask strength, that's what the people want. Anyway, I think that's all I know about this bottle because I don't like doing research. I do have the regular 10 here for contrast, so obviously I'm looking at the cask strength. I'll be giving you my tasting notes on that, but later I will be comparing the two, and I'll be scoring the two, and I'll say which one I think is worth more from a value perspective. So it should be interesting. Let's jump into our review. In the meantime, if you will kindly leave a like down below, that'd be greatly appreciated. All right, first off, for our specs, this is going to be non-chill filtered. It's going to be natural color, and our ABV is, ooh, hey now, 61.7%. I almost forget how to do regular reviews at this point. It's been so long. I used to talk about the look of the bottle, so sure, let's do that. So the new one has a white label like most committee releases. There's a little bit of gold in there, nice accents. Overall, it's a good look. We'll give it 4 out of 5. On the nose, this is Ardbeg 10, but like a lot of Ardbeg 10. This is coastal, it's medicinal, we get heavy peat, there's spicy ginger in here, there's lemon zest. It's intense. In the mouth, this is a powerful salty blast. That's what she said. We get intense coastal notes along with some honey and some citrus. On the finish, we get lemon lime, salted toffee, heavy peat, tar, malt drink, and eucalyptus. Okay, so right off the bat, I would say that this is a really good whiskey. I think it is pretty much what you're promised. This has done the rounds online. Everyone's already talked about this one, and the praise has been almost universal, and I get it because it really is just that. It is Ardbeg 10 cranked up. And trust me, that's a good thing because it's not always the case that if you just take whatever whiskey and crank it up to cask strength, it's going to be better. I'm sure a lot of you would disagree with that, but I do think that some whiskeys are just well balanced where they're at. For example, what was it? Kilchoman. It was a Kilchoman Saneg. I reviewed it a while back. They put out a limited edition cask strength release of the Saneg. I like the standard Saneg, not as much as a lot of you, but I do enjoy it. And I thought, okay, the Saneg cask strength, huge step up for sure. It wasn't. I actually liked it less. I think it kind of threw the balance off. I'm not sure what happened with that one, but the point is cask strength does not always equal better. So of course, the question for today is, does cask strength equal better for this one? And the answer to that is, yeah, kind of, but like a little bit. Disclaimer, I've been enjoying the Ardbeg 10 a lot more than I used to lately. I think they're kind of back on track, as I mentioned. So the new 10s, I think, are really good. I'm lucky enough to have a solid batch of it here. And when I have these two next to each other, of course, very similar profile, some slight differences that we'll get into, but I kind of like it where it's at. So I don't feel like the cask strength was needed, but I do feel like it's fun to have. Of course, the profile between these two is pretty similar. It's very recognizable as the 10, but with the added ABV, of course, we're going to talk about the differences. First off, this is going to be zestier. It's like there's more citrus in it. There's more heat, of course, at 61.7%. And oddly, without water, it actually tastes slightly more youthful. To be honest though, I am going to say that the standard 10 as is the more balanced of the two whiskeys. Now obviously cask strength, we have the advantage, we can add water and we can dilute it down to whatever ABV we want, you know, 60, 55, 50, whatever you're interested in, you can do it and that's fun. But I don't know, I like the standard 10 the way it is, and you've caught me at a very I don't care about high ABV time in my life. So while I like having the cask strength, I don't know that I need it. That said, it is really fun to have, and it is slightly different. It's different enough where you can sort of enjoy the two separately. I like the fact that even though it's meant to be the same recipe, when I add water, even down to what I imagine is close to 46%, I still feel like the cask strength is a little bit more citrusy and distillate forward. Whereas your standard 10, it feels more cask influenced, more bourbon cask in there, more vanilla, and some slightly rounder edges. And at that point for me, it really is kind of a battle of the sames. Pick your poison. I do like both at 46%. Obviously, as I said, you can play around with the ABV with the cask strength. That is the advantage, but price is the issue. As always, you guys know this, I'm in a particularly cheap market here in Taiwan, so I have a very affordable Ardbeg 10 on my hands. This costs about $40 US here, which I think is very reasonable for what you're getting, whereas I had to go over $100 for the cask strength. So more than double, substantially more than double. And for that, I am, again, it goes back to, yes, I like it. Do I like it more? Yeah, maybe, but do I need it for that price? I don't know. Regardless of that, though, from a flavor perspective, I do thoroughly enjoy this one. I think Ardbeg is still back on track. I like this. I like the Bizarre was it from a couple of years back. I like the smoky verse. So even their special releases, I'm enjoying, and I think the standard line is doing pretty well these days. I'm loving my 10. So points to Ardbeg for that. Now, if we're talking score, standard 10, I'll give that a solid 85. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's an old faithful. It's dependable. Well, it hasn't always been dependable, but lately it has been dependable, and I'm enjoying this batch. So 85 for the standard, and for the cask strength, let's give it 85.5. I don't usually do 0.5s on the channel, but it's my channel. Do what I want. So is this delicious? Yes, absolutely. Value is a little bit tough, as I said. So, you know, I think if you're paying less than 100 US, it's reasonable. It's worth grabbing. But here in my market, it is more than 100 US, and I've heard it's over like 137 euros in some parts of Europe. So, you know, don't go too high on this one. I don't think it's worth it. But if you're an Ardbeg lover and a cask strength lover at the same time, I have no doubt that you're going to enjoy this. So anything under $100, if that's something that sounds appealing to you, definitely go for it. In the meantime, for me, I don't know that I'll repurchase this one. Certainly not at that price. If they brought it down, maybe. But I'm happy with my standard Ardbeg 10. Alright guys, that was the review. Hope you enjoyed it, and I suppose this is the end of the video, so I'll point you to my Patreon and my PayPal links, which are down below. This channel is a one-man show, so scripting, obviously shooting and editing, it's all me, so any little bit of contribution would help. My patrons are, they're this side, and they're good looking, so you should join them, and I guess we'll catch you in the next video. Bye guys.